In a city that gleamed with glass and steel, there lived a man named James. To the world. He was the epitome of success, a self-made millionaire whose life was a whirlwind of penthouse suites, roaring sports cars, and exclusive parties. Every luxury was at his fingertips. Every desire, a simple purchase away. But behind the dazzling facade, an echo of emptiness followed him. The laughter at his lavish gatherings sounded hollow. The expensive art on his walls felt cold, and the city lights viewed from his balcony only highlighted a profound loneliness. James had everything money could buy, yet he possessed nothing that truly mattered. He was a king in a gilded cage, longing for a feeling he couldn't name. Miles away, in a humble, vibrant part of the same city, lived Lily. Her world was painted in simpler colors. She juggled 2 jobs, working from sunrise to long after sunset, just to make ends meet and support her younger siblings. Her hands were often calloused, and her days were long, but her spirit remained unbroken. Lily found joy in the small, fleeting moments, the aroma of fresh bread from the corner bakery, the shared laughter with her family over a simple dinner, the warmth of the sun on her face during her walk to work. She saw beauty where others saw struggle, and her optimism was a quiet, steady flame that warmed everyone around her.
She had very little, yet she was rich in a way James could never comprehend.
Their 2 vastly different worlds were destined to collide on a rainy Tuesday afternoon. James, frustrated after a tense business meeting, had instructed his driver to take a different route home, hoping a change of scenery would clear his head. As his sleek, black car navigated the unfamiliar, narrow streets of Lily's neighborhood, it suddenly sputtered and rolled to a stop.
A flat tire.
Annoyed, James stepped out into the drizzle, his expensive suit instantly getting damped. And that's when he saw her. Lily was rushing home, a flimsy umbrella barely protecting her from the downpour. She noticed the stranded luxury car and the impeccably dressed man looking lost and out of place. Most people in her neighborhood would have hurried past, intimidated or indifferent. But not Lily. With a kind smile, she approached him. "Looks like you're having some trouble," she said, her voice clear and gentle. James, accustomed to being approached for his money or fame, was taken aback by her simple, genuine concern. He found himself speechless, momentarily captivated not just by her radiant smile,
but by the light in her eyes, a light he had you seen in any of the ballrooms or boardrooms he frequented.
Hoping to impress her, James immediately fell back on his usual methods. He pulled out his wallet, ready to offer her a handsome sum for her help. "I can pay you for your time," he said, the words sounding clumsy even to his own ears. Lily just laughed, a sound like wind chimes in the rain. "I don't want your money," she replied, shaking her head. "But my brother is a mechanic just down the street. Let me give him a call." While they waited, she offered him a spot under her small umbrella. Standing so close, James could smell the faint scent of rainwater and soap, a fragrance more intoxicating than any expensive perfume he'd ever known. He was drawn to her innocence, her complete lack of pretense. For the first time in years, someone was seeing him not as a millionaire, but just as a man with a flat tire. In the days that followed, James found himself unable to forget the girl with the kind eyes. He created excuses to drive through her neighborhood, hoping for another chance encounter. He finally found her at the small cafe where she worked as a waitress. He started visiting daily, leaving extravagant tips, buying the most expensive items on the menu, trying to catch her attention with his wealth. But Lily treated him with the same polite friendliness she showed every customer. His money was like a foreign language she didn't care to understand. Frustrated but intrigued, James changed his approach. He started asking her about her life. He listened as she talked about her family, her dreams of opening a small flower shop, and the simple things that made her happy. In return, she asked him about his life, not about his business deals, but about what he enjoyed doing. He realized with a jolt that he didn't have an answer. So, Lily decided to show him. She took him to her favorite park, a small patch of green he never knew existed. They fed ducks with stale bread, something James hadn't done since he was a child. She took him to a bustling local market where the vibrant chaos and rich smells were a world away from the sterile, high-end boutiques he was used to. He watched, fascinated, as she haggled with a fruit vendor, her laughter echoing through the crowded aisle. For her birthday, he wanted to buy her a diamond necklace. Instead, at her gentle insistence,
They spent the day volunteering at a local animal shelter.
Holding a tiny, purring kitten, James felt a warmth spread through his chest that no financial victory had ever given him. Lily wasn't just showing him her world. She was reintroducing him to his own, peeling back the layers of wealth and status to reveal the man he had forgotten he could be. With her, he wasn't James the millionaire. He was just James. And he was happier than he had ever been. One evening, as they sat by a quiet riverbank, watching the city lights flicker to life across the water, the weight of James's feelings became too much to bear. The life he had built, once the source of his pride, now felt like a barrier between them. He turned to Lily, his heart pounding in his chest. "Lily," he began, his voice thick with emotion, "I've spent my whole life chasing things: money, success, power. I thought that's what happiness was. But I was wrong. These past few weeks with you, you've shown me what it truly means to be alive. You've shown me the joy in a shared meal, the beauty in a simple walk, the peace in a quiet moment." He took her hand, his gaze intense and sincere. "I am deeply in love with you. And I know my world is so different from yours. It's loud and it's empty. I don't want it anymore. Not without you. I would give it all up in a heartbeat: the cars, the penthouse, the company, all of it.
I would trade every dollar I have for a lifetime of simple moments with you." Tears welled up in his eyes as he laid his soul bare.
This was the biggest risk he had ever taken, far greater than any business deal. He wasn't offering her his wealth. He was offering her his heart, his future, his everything. He was ready to leave his gilded cage behind and build a new life, as long as she was by his side. Lily looked at James, and in his eyes, she didn't see a millionaire confessing his love. She saw a man who had finally found his way home. She saw the vulnerability and sincerity she had sensed from their very first meeting in the rain. A gentle smile touched her lips as tears of joy streamed down her cheeks. "James!" she whispered, her voice soft but sure. "You don't have to give anything up." "I never fell for the millionaire. I fell for the man who was lost in the rain. I fell for the man who learned to love feeding ducks and walking through noisy markets. Your heart is all I've ever wanted." In that moment, all barriers dissolved. It wasn't about a rich man and a poor girl anymore. It was just about two people who had found their other half. Lily accepted his love, and James embraced his new beginning. They didn't abandon his world, nor did they remain solely in hers. Instead, they built a new one together, a world where his resources could help her build her dream flower shop, and where her love for simplicity brought genuine laughter and warmth into his grand, empty house, finally turning it into a home. Their love story became a quiet, beautiful testament that true wealth isn't measured in bank accounts or possessions, but in shared joy and the priceless connection of two hearts beating as one. They had found their happily ever after, not in a fairy tale castle, but in the beautiful, ordinary life they created together. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more content like this. We'll see you in the next video.